Microscopic Milton is very small indeed. He lives in a clock on the mantelpiece in the parlour of a house that belongs to a lady named Mrs. Witherspoon. No one knows he's there, apart from Milton's friend Douglas, who spends most of his time asleep in front of the fire, and of course, you. It was an everyday sort of a day, and Milton was relaxing with a good book. It was all about a time machine which could take people into the past or into the future, depending on which button you pressed. That would be great, thought Milton. I could travel back in time and have my breakfast all over again. I've decided to build a time machine, he told Douglas later that morning. I'm going to travel back in time to last Tuesday, he went on. I really enjoyed last Tuesday. Douglas wasn't convinced, but Milton was undeterred and set to work immediately, using a picture from the book as reference. There, said Milton when it was finished. I'm ready to go. I'll just say goodbye to Douglas. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Mrs. Witherspoon was talking to her new neighbour, Mrs. Jenkins. I wonder, said Mrs. Jenkins, if I might borrow a clock. Mine seems to have stopped. And I'm baking a cake in the oven, and the timing is crucial. Of course you can, said Mrs. Witherspoon. Take the one in the parlour, but be careful. It's a bit of an antique. Right, said Milton. I'm off then. I may see you soon, or I may see you last week. This time traveling's a bit confusing. Oof, said Douglas. Milton climbed into the driving seat of his time machine and twiddled some dials. He pulled a couple of levers and flicked a switch. It's working, he said to himself, and hung on to his chair. Suddenly the clock stopped. I've arrived in the past, thought Milton to himself, and went outside to investigate. Wow, it worked, exclaimed Milton. I really have gone back in time. It's Mrs. Witherspoon when she was a young woman, exclaimed Milton. I must have gone back a long, long way. Mrs. Jenkins seemed to be looking for something. Here, boy, she said. Come along, you silly puppy. Ah, there you are. Milton couldn't believe his eyes. Into the room bounced a small, shaggy dog. It must be Douglas when he was a puppy, he thought. Now, you stay in here till I've finished baking, said Mrs. Jenkins, and she went into the kitchen. When she'd gone, Milton climbed down to say hello. The puppy seemed very pleased to see him. Milton played with the puppy for what seemed like hours. Just then, Milton heard Mrs. Jenkins at the door and staggered back to his clock. I think I'll be safer back in my own time, thought Milton, and climbed into his time machine. He pressed some more buttons and pulled a few more levers. At the same time, Mrs. Jenkins picked up the clock and took it back to Mrs. Witherspoon's house. Milton's clock was put safely back in its place on the mantelpiece. You're back then, thought Douglas as Milton appeared from inside. Have a nice trip. Good to see you too, Douglas, said Milton. Good old Douglas. Good old, slow, sensible, quiet, grown-up old Douglas. You were far too lively and playful when you were a puppy, weren't you, Douglas? No, thought Douglas, and settled down for a snooze.